Welcome back to another episode of Caps
Caps off.
Caps off. Caps
The
are
what?
off.
Yeah, dude.
What the-
Guess who
Do you
hit a
talk like that?
parlay? Doo-dah, doo-dah. Guess who hit a parlay? Doo-dah-da-da-da.
Shout out Isaiah Likely.
Hey, shout out Adam for making a K yesterday on a
So-
$5 bet.
How
What
many
was it?
You
Talk
miss
about it.
100% of the shots you don't
how much
take.
money
It
do
only
you
took
think lost on
16
parlays
weeks.
this year,
Well,
though?
technically, I just made it all back. So
Yeah,
Probably.
because I put
So
I-
you're net zero.
every
Are you
week.
$5 each time?
Yeah, every week I'd either put
You put at least.
I'd put at least one parlay in that would either be $5 or $10, and every single week I'd miss it by like one or two, and I should have known after week one that I was going to be fucked for 15 weeks because it was a 12-leg.
Well, you're only fucked for 14 weeks.
It's a good point. 12-leg, $5 to win 2,600, and Jamar Chase anytime touchdown score was the only one that didn't end up hitting. So I should have known. And then yesterday I put together a 5-leg parlay. I'm like, you know what?
Nice.
5 legs can
Safe,
hit. You
conservative.
know what? Yeah. No,
Sounded crazy.
I didn't even juice it. It was just a regular,
No
good old-
boost.
Settled.
no boost. Yep. Going to settled. Don't worry. Don't let that distract you from the fact that I had 2 other ones in play
Lose.
last night that lost.
Yeah, but
I'm
that's
sure.
$5. So fine. Instead of making 1150 or something, you made 1140.
it was Rashad White over 21.5 receiving yards. Mike Evans anytime touchdown score. Raheem Mostert anytime touchdown score. Latavius Murray anytime touchdown score.
Juicy.
And Isaiah Likely anytime touchdown
Bro,
score.
the one big ass parlay, like that same game one that I had this year too, like had Latavius Murray touchdown.
Yeah,
score, and
he's the
wild.
difference maker. Plus 21,000
me.
odds, $5 to win 1,100.
Damn.
Elite, dude.
Why don't-
Congratulations.
you should have done something like, you
Finally.
know, you're like, hey, if Isaiah Likely scores a touchdown here, like I'll do the next episode. You know, I did shirtless, but you can do something.
Dude, if someone on the
Sure.
pod can
As
get
well.
one each season,
Maybe
of Caps off,
pantsless.
then that's a W.
Point.
Not that
That's
I'd
a
want
good
to see
point.
that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adam.
Hey,
Big
the
win for
best
you.
part though which was fun, was we had the live yesterday and the community was deciding what we should do. And there
Yeah.
were a few people that was going with ride it out. Like let it
No,
play.
I will say about 90% of people are saying cash out.
Yes, I agree. But then there was that 10%.
And you all
Including us.
have no guts, no heart, no determination.
There was one
Gotta
person
stick with
that
it.
I think specifically said you didn't place this bet to win $200.
Bingo.
And I was like,
Facts.
That's
you know,
That's
actually
all the logic you
I'm
need.
literally never gonna cash out ever.
Yeah.
Because of that logic.
yep.
It's
Yeah.
really
Good
sad.
logic.
So I hit a parlay. It's great, and we threw it all back on the Dolphins, 1,100 to win the division. And
Good
I'm
luck.
gonna lose.
And,
You actually?
the Bills are gonna.
The Bills will find
You guys
the
will
Dolphins
lose-
will
you guys
find
will
a
lose
lose.
to the
Take any of that
Ravens.
money?
No, well,
You guys-
because it's not my money.
Adam, you guys are literally.
It's fair. It's free.
If
You're
it's
gonna
already in
go-
my account, it's gone.
So if you go 0-3 and the Bills go 3-0, they win the division.
Yes.
The Bills win the division.
That's
Uh-huh.
very possible.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
it's
very
extremely possible.
All you need is one
Oh
win,
my
though.
We need
God.
one win. Well, no, we need to win 2. I think it is.
You
Specifically.
need one win to clinch playoffs.
One win to clinch playoffs. If we win against the Cow, 1 win to clinch playoffs, 2 to clinch the division, and 3 to clinch the 1 seed. Control your own destiny.
There you go. Big
Beat a
Dolphins.
team above 500.
Well, if the Ravens win 3 straight, they get the 1 seed, right?
It's all right, Adam.
no,
actually,
I
they
actually-
have a better
I-
record.
No, we're both 10 and
I
4.
think-
No,
they're 11 and 4.
Adam, now that I
yeah.
think about it, I think the Dolphins
Yeah.
are fucked.
But we play the Ravens. That's why.
Oh, right.
You guys are screwed because Cowboys bounce back game next week,
Yep.
right? And then so the Niners
And
this week.
Ravens bounce back.
Niners this week. We got the Ravens, so bounce back for the Ravens.
We're
where we
going
smoke
back to
them.
back bounce backs.
You got back-to-back bounce backs against good
Bounce.
teams, and then you got the Bills.
No, I don't
hot.
disagree at all. We're fucked.
hey,
But here's the one thing.
congrats on possibly making the playoffs. this
Here's
year.
the one thing we have is that the Bills are going to win out because they play the Chargers and the Patriots. So that's 2 letdown spot. Bounce back, letdown. Dolphins come back in week 18.
Unless the Chargers beat them, Easton Stick ends up.
No, the Patriots are going to beat the Bills.
Oh,
Uh,
my God.
Before we get into the recap
Screwed.
episode, Jack
What, dude?
has a little announcement to make for the people listening at home.
This is sad.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. Yeah. So
This
this will be. Is this the last week?
This will be
This is
your-
it.
Yeah. So this will officially be my last week with Caps off. I didn't get fired. I'm just gonna put that out there. Did not get fired on my terms.
Felipe kicked him off the pod.
I did,
um,
yeah.
Yeah. Not so.
Too
Not.
much Joe Burrow propaganda.
Yeah. You know.
take, bro.
Thanks.
So okay, also when I leave, so first I got a better opportunity, one that I couldn't pass up. So I will be moving to Miami, Adam's place.
To
Congratulations.
become.
I really
close-
just want to be friends with River Craycraft. That's
Exactly.
about it.
Are you
And-
going to live in Adam's house with his dad's?
yeah, with both of his dads. Yeah, I think we're
Nice,
gonna
dude.
actually share like a California King or something.
Dude, let's
like
go,
that.
Yeah.
man.
Well, you
That'll
can.
be
That
pretty
pretty
cool.
furniture. You can get that for
Yeah,
sure.
hell yeah. Oh yeah.
Shameless
Uh,
plug.
No, man, but it's gonna be weird not finishing out the season with you guys, especially since Brock Purdy's gonna win the MVP eventually, and we're gonna win the Super Bowl.
It's true.
And you know, you guys will be at the Super Bowl, which will be sick. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna miss you boys, but
What
also
about
at least,
missing the audience?
yeah, I'll miss all you guys too, man. It's gonna be weird not being able to like hop in the studio and just talk shop, talk about football, talk about Brock Purdy. Actually, no one's had a season that Brock Purdy's about to have 4,600 yards, 35 touchdowns, 9 interceptions with at least a 110 passer rating. No one's ever done that.
Yeah, but less passing yards than Tua. But
but yeah, man, it's weird. I don't think it's really hit. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah,
Sad,
love
man.
you boys.
Sad, man.
And all you guys, like our following our audience, man. Like we would never
Taco frog,
toast, ribs, OG,
ribs.
like
some of the OGs.
no, all y'all.
For
But
real.
oh yeah.
Jack, you're a beast, and we would not be here without you. And your work and your presence on this
Fact.
podcast is
Hey, man.
deeply appreciated. And
Someone's
someone's sad to see
gotta
you go.
Someone's gotta be funny. Who's gonna be
none of us.
who's gonna be eye test guy?
Nah,
Who's
we
gonna be
don't
Joe
got that.
Burrow guy?
Nope.
Who's gonna be a Brock guy?
I was born for this
Well,
moment, man.
well, I could be
we're
a
all
Brock
Brock guys.
I was born for this moment, man. This is my moment to shine. Come on.
Hey,
I mean, I'm.
Don't you trust
don't
me?
you ever look at a statistic?
Never.
Never.
Why would I
Never
ever do that?
once?
You were the
Unless
only one
you want to push
defending-
Brock Purdy propaganda.
Of course.
You were
And I'll
the
pick
only
the
one
ones that make him
defending
look good,
Tua
not the
also.
ones that make him
So
look
I
I'm
bad.
was a
nervous.
Tua guy for a
You were a
little bit.
Tua guy, and I'm nervous now because I got to go up against Felipe, and that's.
Hey, but now if I'm in Miami, I might really be a Tua guy.
You have to.
I don't
be.
know.
You have to be. You're also
Okay.
closer to Braxton Berrios' abs, so who's really
Yeah,
winning?
yeah. Maybe he can like introduce you like his girlfriend, and then like I can go out with one of her friends or something like that. You know,
That'd be a nice.
That could be
gesture.
kinda neat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
miss you, Jack.
The people, we are live on TikTok and YouTube right now, and the people are saying they're sad. It can't be. No way. Gonna miss you, Jack.
Make sure to if
so
you
you're
don't
getting love from the fans,
yeah,
man.
If you
It's-
don't already
that
follow
well-deserved
Jack
sucks.
on his personal accounts, make sure to go follow Jack.
yeah.
across
Follow me
everything.
on everything.
What's your handle, bro?
It's Jack_Prody. I think on everything
Bingo.
except it's like
Consistency.
if you on TikTok, I'm tagging like every videos here.
That's
true.
Yeah, I'll post stuff on there about what I'm doing, where I'm going. I don't want to say it on this or the video, but yeah.
Good luck, bro.
Love you, Jack.
You're gonna be fucking great. You'll be seeing Jack, man. He's gonna be around
I got to get a lot of cool new like t-shirts. I don't have enough t-shirts. I feel like
Warm weather
for
guy.
Miami.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're on a hoodie grind right now, obviously.
Well, yeah,
out here.
dude. I'll hoodie season.
Hoodie goes crazy.
Dude,
Facts.
thank you.
Shout out Nantucket, man.
Was that
But-
Nantucket?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Well, we do have another 5 episodes.
we do.
of Jack.
We got.
Are we gonna get
this.
him on the fantasy episodes this week?
Jack's doing everything.
Woo!
I'm 2 teams in the playoffs right now. 2-0. What's up?
Let's go.
What's up?
Should
No,
we
this is
start?
about to be the best week of caps off ever. So
Should we start by talking
stay-
about fantasy?
Stay tuned. Honestly, we should. And should we talk about
Bajan.
the guy that fucking vultured my team this year?
Bijan burned everyone.
What did you say?
I think when you leave, Adam is gonna go clinically insane.
I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Because I feel like he hates that I don't bring up stats, and he's the stat guy. So he's like, might be better. He might be better off. I don't know.
Might be. Yeah, but Bijan
Actually,
fucked
but
me
when I
this
look at the
week.
stats, Bijan just sucks, dude. It's not has nothing to do with Arthur Smith. Bijan just sucks.
He sucks. Yeah, he should retire.
He
Honestly,
should, yeah.
we went for Bijan
I'm
being
totally-
potentially the greatest running back of all
No,
time.
I'm totally kidding. By the way, it's
There's
Arthur
going to be a
Smith's
class
fault.
action lawsuit for people that own Bijan Robinson in fantasy this year.
Condo, actually, producer Condo,
Managed.
he's in probably the
Sure.
worst shape I've ever seen a human in my life. It's all because of Bijan.
Dude.
Yeah. I'd be in worse shape too. I mean, he fucked me, but at least I'm still in play tonight. Obviously,
Of course,
Eagles
because
playing
you're
tonight.
different. Yep.
But dude, I mean, he got negative 0.6 for me. I know he got like 1 point something for some people, whatever. He was hovering around 0, which is criminal
How
for a guy as talented as him.
does Arthur Smith still have a job?
Hey, all I'm saying is Condo said he's never using FedEx again after getting burned.
Oh.
If-
Well,
if-
sometimes
if
you can't
someone
choose
said-
the delivery.
Well, he's saying if a
Provider.
package comes in and it's FedEx,
He's
he's sending it right back.
I don't want
Sending it right back.
Return to sender.
All because of Arthur Smith's dad founding FedEx. And you know what? I respect that. Fuck FedEx.
Bijan
All
Robinson.
my
Good
boys
point.
hate FedEx.
Good
We're
point.
a UPS. This is a UPS
household.
podcast from
Yep.
now on
What
out.
did you say about
USPS.
USPS, UPS,
Whatever you need.
Amazon,
Yep.
not FedEx.
what did you say about the Panthers specifically? They got 2 wins
Oh,
faster
yeah,
than
this is crazy. So if anyone follows the NBA right now, like I feel like one of the biggest stories is that the Detroit Pistons are so bad. Like the Detroit Pistons are one of the worst teams in basketball history. The Carolina Panthers have won 2 games more recently than the Detroit Pistons have won
which
one.
is crazy.
The Carolina
That's gross.
Panthers 2 wins came obviously on Sunday, and then October 29th. The Pistons' last win is October 28th.
That's
It is December 18th.
somehow
shit.
it is
That's
all Arthur Smith's fault, including the Detroit Pistons.
I have to wonder if FedEx somehow sponsors Detroit.
It's possible.
I don't know if they sponsor the Pistons.
It's possible.
Or not.
Arthur, bro, Bijan played his lowest snap count of the entire year. The lowest. It was raining
against the
Panthers.
against the
In the
worst team in
fantasy
football.
playoffs.
See,
What the fuck?
It's literally it's raining. It's the worst team of football, and you're just
Yeah, I also I got 0.15 out of Bijan this week on my fantasy.
hey, congrats
playoffs.
on positive.
I got if Kenneth
Yeah,
Walker
right, I
gets
got negative.
45 points tonight, though, I could win. But
Can't walk and he getting a 45.
nope.
Yo, it's
Kenneth
insane.
Walker
You
gets
know what?
45.
I think Arthur Smith's job was safe for the most part all year because they were winning. So I never had a problem with him. You know, you think about Bijan, he's a generational player. You want him for the long term. You're not worried about this year. So I actually commended him for the conservative Bijan use. I think it's really smart in the long term. But if it's costing you a game, now it just costed you a game. And that's where it's not okay because Bijan would have helped you win. So
Let me ask you something. Where do you think Bijan's going to go in fantasy drafts next year?
he's still gonna be a first round pick,
Probably
top
late
5,
first.
6.
Really?
Especially if Arthur's out, like whoever comes in is gonna utilize the fuck out of him.
I won't be taking him.
I think it'll be a second round
I do
pick,
I
honestly.
do have to ask this, Felipe, and this is the hard hitting journalistic questions that you have to face.
Yeah.
What does this say about Texas if Bijan is doing this, man? I mean, embarrassing himself in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, it says that Arthur Smith should never belong in Texas. That's all it is.
If Arthur Smith goes
It's-
to Texas, what's happening to him? I mean,
Some bad things.
hey.
Some bad things.
Hey.
Because again, bro, it's like 50. Was it what?
concealed carry over there, brother.
50%?
Oh boy! Oh boy!
It is.
You better
You
watch
need no
out.
permit for that shit.
Oh
It is.
man!
Is it? What is it? What is it? You utilize 50% of
It
the
was
plays?
like less than 50%
51?
of snaps or some shit.
This
So
whole
that's
season?
so it's an
No,
Arthur
no,
Smith
this-
problem, not a Bijan
game.
problem, bro. Like
I gotta pull it up.
it's really bad.
Somebody in the comments, by the way, Level 2 Noob said, "Yo, earphones. Somebody turn Adam down."
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, honestly, bro. Like,
I'm so
That's
sorry.
hilarious.
So
Yeah, he's
so
fucking
sorry.
crazy, dude.
It's just one of those situations where in 3 of my leagues, I had the first round bye, so luckily I
Dude,
got away
hell
with
yeah,
that.
you fucking beast.
But
you fucking
in this
beast.
other one, because of the points for method, I will now be in the Sacco because of Bijan Robinson. And it's very hurt.
You have a
It's-
Sacco punishment?
It's a camp league, and we have to take the public transit like 6 hours, go take a picture at the sign, and then
At your
go
summer
back.
camp?
Yeah,
Nice.
Nice, dude.
That sounds.
Man, you
I was
finished
just
last
fine.
in the league, bro. You suck.
I got one league. I got to win, and
That
I won't.
sucks,
So
dude.
Bijan bounce back, but yeah,
Damn,
I'm
bro.
just. I feel for all the Bijan owners, including yourself, including
Bijan managers.
yourself.
Thank you.
Oh, God
Come on,
damn
bro.
it.
You gotta be
I don't
better
own
than
him.
You
So.
don't manage him either.
I don't. Yeah. Oh, I don't manage him. Let's make that
Mm.
abundantly clear.
Yep.
Yep.
that. But Arthur Smith does manage him. Manages his time. Manages how many carries he
And
gets.
does it improperly.
Manages his touches.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. We know that he likes to touch. Okay.
What?
Let's-
Is it because he's got the creepy pedo stash?
yeah. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Let's talk about the other
Oh,
games. Week
Bijan,
15.
Bijan.
Felipe, I'm sorry about that Cowboys loss, man. I
Yeah,
am.
yeah.
I was rooting
Thanks,
for him.
dude. I appreciate the apology.
But
I'm sorry
Okay,
too.
man.
the, qu-
Appreciate all
the
you guys.
question
Love
at
the
hand,
touch
and I
as
think
well.
everybody's thinking about it, but I think I know the answer, but I'll ask you anyway. Should we be worried about the Cowboys at all?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you can't stop the run. That's worrisome because you can't stop the run. Period. Like it got bad when you couldn't stop the run, and the Bills didn't even utilize that to open up the pass. They just kept running it.
Yeah.
Josh Allen had under 100 yards, I think, by the end of the
95
game.
yards, 15 attempts, 7 completions.
Did you see what he
James
said?
Cook.
He
You
said
thought it
how-
was gonna be
He was like, I felt like the kid who did no work at the group project but
A.
got all the credit.
No, he
Oh,
got
Brock-
an A. He got
Brock
an A.
Or whatever, he got the A. Oh,
We're talking
I'm just
about
playing,
the
I'm just
Bills.
playing,
What are we doing?
Also, their coach gave Josh Allen the game ball.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, you didn't turn it
Which is
over."
like-
Oh,
Bro,
bro, James Cook went for 200.
Yeah, what are you
Yeah, bro,
doing?
what
What the fuck? What are you doing?
All right. Well, anyway, so Josh Allen didn't have to be utilized. We thought it was going to be an Allen versus Dak game, which would have been a really fun game just for football fans in general. Didn't happen.
We
Josh
just stopped
didn't
live streaming games 3 weeks in a row. They've been shit.
Yeah,
Cow-
actually.
The Cowboys?
Yeah.
No, just like games.
Oh, the games
Yeah.
that we've been
Games.
streaming.
Yeah, you're right. They've been blowouts. Yeah. But I think you're worried because you want to stop the run. And the one issue with the Cowboys all year has been the run. The reason that it hasn't gashed them recently is because they've gotten up early. So the other team has to pass.
Pass throw.
Well, naturally, some games you're gonna get start playing from behind early in the game, and that's what happened this game, and they were fucked the rest of the game. So I think you play against the Niners and they get up early. Like your only hope at this point, because you can't stop the run. Mozzie Smith bust. You can't stop the run. He got his first sack of his career though.
Hey,
Congratulations.
college football.
Yeah. So your only hope is that you can get up on these other teams and force them to pass. So I think that's definitely worrisome if you're the Cowboys. And you're already worried about their. I mean, you started to kind of like fix what you were worried about early in the season when they lost to the Niners and stuff like that, because they looked way better than that. But the Niners, obviously were able to run on the Cowboys, and that problem just opened right back up again. So I don't think it's going to be an easy problem to fix.
Which loss was more demoralizing for you, though? The Niners or the Bills loss this year?
I think the Niners was worse because it was like there's a conference. I was there, but like it's a conference rivalry. We lost to them the last 2 years in the playoffs. We thought we were that team, and then you get smoked against the Bills. It's just one problem.
I just feel like it's so demoralizing.
And we got clapped in every sense against the Niners. Against the Bills, it was just the run. If you can't stop the run. So it didn't feel like
that's so demoralizing in one way because it's just like you're just getting outmanned.
Yeah, we
right?
were.
Like
yeah.
they're just dropping it on you.
Yeah, but the way I just kind of see it is like 100%. 100%. But at the same time, like this was a prime letdown spot on the road. What have you won 4 straight coming into there where like people were the Cowboys were up here. It's a prime spot where like in a way America's somewhat not ready to fully crown the Bills a team that's like this team can make a run again. And I think now they are, and we're going to talk about the Bills. But like this was a prime spot. You're a fan, so you could speak on the Cowboys more, and you're obviously way more in tune with what's going on there. Just from an outsider's perspective, I'm still not worried about the Cowboys because you're either still the second or third best team, likely the second in the NFC, still can get hot, in the playoffs, make a run. The problem is you've been better at home than on the road. I would know something about that as well because the Dolphins stink on the road. But I think the Cowboys will be fine, personally.
I feel like also, not that I feel like I know, the Bills have just been on a hot streak lately, finally coming into their own, being what the Bills are and winning games and asserting their dominance.
Nah, but they beat you without – their best weapon is their quarterback.
Okay, so
they beat us without even utilizing their quarterback. That's bad.
That's demoralizing.
And so if you're Dallas, like you're definitely in trouble. There's a situation where it's more serious than I think what Adam makes it out to be. Of course, you're one of the top 3 teams in the NFC because the NFC fucking sucks. Of course,
do you think it's really like you just can't beat a team that is like excels in running the football though? Or is it like
no? Because the Eagles are a damn good running team, and we smoked them.
But we were up
early
this year.
But we were up early. And so I think it's just a matter of like, you got to be up early. If you have to stop the run and the other team is in a position to where they can run the ball, meaning they're probably playing from ahead, then you're probably going to be in trouble. So you're not worried against like some of these other teams, but if a team can run the ball, then that's dangerous.
But when I look at it also, like to me, I think the Bills are the best team in the AFC. And not only that, I think the Bills are the second best team in the league, personally, because they are 2 special teams losses away from being 10-4. Talked about as the same with the Cowboys, the Dolphins, the Ravens right now, the Niners. Like we just look at strictly record 11-3.
Yeah, but they've had terrible losses.
But they lost because of special teams. That's not the offense can't control that. The defense can't control that.
They lost against the Jets. Talk about how easy
the Jets overtime
are. And the Bills also had some good wins. They just had a win against you guys. They just had a win against. And they had a win against what? The fucking Eagles? The Chiefs?
No, they went to overtime against the Eagles, though.
And the Chiefs. Like, they lost because of their special teams. And also, the reason I think they are the best team in the AFC, they're the scariest team in the AFC, and one of the scariest teams in the NFL, is because in terms of the AFC, there's only 2 teams right now that the record reflects how good they are with the quarterback, right? Like, we're talking elite quarterback play. There's Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen in the AFC. Like, 2 is the next tier below. And when you get to the Super Bowl, what we've always said, like why teams can stay scary is because of the quarterback play. And Josh Allen has not had to do really much, right? He had 7 completions, and yet they were able to dominate you on the ground. So the Bills are getting hot at the right time. They're one of the scariest teams, and their record certainly does not reflect how good they actually are. Because at one point they were 6-6.
Yeah.
They are easily, to me, when I look at the Bills, they're still a 10-4 team. Just their record says 8-6 because of 2 special teams losses. That record does not reflect who the Bills are. The Bills are the best team in the AFC right now. I think they're better than the Ravens, and they're one of the scariest teams in the NFL.
Do you think the Bills will win the AFC and make it to the Super Bowl?
I think they have a great chance.
I said last week, like after their win, who did they beat last week again? Not this.
The Bills?
The Chiefs. Yeah. So after the Bills beat the Chiefs, I was like, all right, yeah, it's Niners, Bills in the Super Bowl, in my opinion. I was like, when you have Josh Allen and this Bills team getting hot, no one can beat them.
And they have a ton of injuries. Like, again, I want to be biased and I want to like be all in on my Dolphins, but Josh Allen is Superman. Like, you are going to win games and lose games because of him, and you just won a game without him. And I feel like we haven't seen that. Like, he's made mistakes. He didn't make a mistake at all. And ultimately in the playoffs, you need an elite superstar quarterback to potentially win you a game at the last second. And Josh Allen can do that.
They also have a really easy schedule.
They have a very easy schedule.
They're playing the Chargers next week, and then the Patriots, and then the Dolphins.
Well, I think they're a team that could also go on the road and win games, regardless of if they win the division.
I think so
or not.
too.
The Bills.
Yeah, the Bills. So I'm saying it doesn't even matter because I still think they make the playoffs. Right now, they're in the hunt. They're 8-6, but
They're like the 9th.
Yeah, just the way it's going to net out.
I mean,
The Bills are
they're going to
terrifying,
win.
bro.
They're going to win at least 10 games.
Yeah.
They'll
Well,
beat the Chargers and Patriots.
No,
doubt.
absolutely.
I mean, you ask any Dolphins
They'll
fan,
go
like,
at worst 10-7.
you ask any legit Dolphins fan who knows that it might come down to that last game for the division. Like, Dolphins fans are like, we're taking stock of that Bills team and getting hot, and we should because they're a damn good fucking team.
I'd be damn scared if I was
my
Dolphins fan now, no doubt.
They're filthy.
Also, potentially, if you just put $1,100 on it.
What about this?
Could you imagine?
We know that Josh Allen's been playing really well this year. Just I know in spite of all their record or everything. If the Bills win the AFC East, is Josh Allen MVP?
No, because of the game he just had against the Cowboys. That hurt him.
You think so?
Didn't hurt him.
I think
he
what's
won.
Because
what's
he
needed
had
to help
7
him though
completions.
is
Doesn't
winning.
matter.
The thing that's knocked Josh down this year has been the fact that they were 6-6 or below 500 at some points in the season. If they can start winning, get on a hot streak, and they win the AFC East, you're probably the 2 seed in the AFC. I think he could be in that MVP conversation. I want Brock to win it, but I think it's crazy to say that Josh Allen.
But with the way
wouldn't have a
Brock Purdy's
chance.
playing, and with like the Niners right now, and we said this off the pod, is like Brock Purdy right now is going to have a chance to, I think, lock up the MVP this coming week against the Ravens. You don't need to have a crazy game, but if you can go for 2 to 3 touchdowns and have 200 yards, like regardless, and just win that game, you locked up the MVP. If you have anything less than that, like if it's a 2 touchdown, potentially 2 INT game, and it is close, that hurts him tremendously. Not fair to Brock. It shouldn't, but that's just the way it's going to line up. When it comes to Josh Allen, if he would have went against the Cowboys, and one of the reasons they dominated the Cowboys was in part because of Josh Allen, that would improve his case drastically. But because he only did 7 completions the whole game, naturally, you can't just sit there and be like, well, MVP because of the record.
Well, the other thing
you need the stat. The stats have been there, but this game needed to help.
No, but unrelated
I
to
think
that,
it
their
doesn't matter.
stats still aren't there. Brock Purdy's stats
Josh
are still
is
better.
Yeah, but Josh is up there. Josh is
Josh
100%
better
up there.
EPA.
Ooh, expected points added.
Look at like
Josh Allen right now is
everything.
3,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, 14 INTs. And he's
still
third
up
in QBR.
Yeah, he's still up there.
how many
It doesn't-
INTs?
14.
That's a lot though.
Yeah, but that's his MO though. Also, I mean,
He's still up
they-
there, but Brock is still better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
point. If
Brock-
he would have
No,
balled
'cause
against
you
the
have to factor in
Cowboys,
supporting cast. Josh is carrying at that point. Like I think
Right. If
you
it's
can have a
about
conversation 'cause
valuable
Josh
player.
is carrying. Brock isn't carrying. Like there's no dispute. Brock is not carrying that team. Josh is carrying this team. Now this win, obviously, he didn't carry them to this win, but it just shows that the Bills are better than we thought.
agree. I just think had he gone out, that would have been. Then I would have said,
Brock has to lose this week though. Yeah, for Josh to even.
well, this is
have
the
a
only
case-
game
a
that I
case.
feel like the Niners over their course of the next 3 games can easily.
No, I
lose.
mean I think the Rams game the last week of the season.
Oh,
could be
that's a sneaky one.
Unless we already lock up the 1 seed.
But that's
somehow,
the
I don't
issue
think
with
that's gonna
Brock
be the
is that like if you were to lose one of these games because of the supporting cast, it could knock him and hurt him, which is why we were saying with Dak, it's setting up where he can go win that MVP.
Yep.
Obviously, that doesn't happen now after yesterday's game against the Bills, but it's
case.
the same.
Still could, but
It's still
It's-
very well could, but he's going to have to
It's tough.
go
We need
deep
other
in his
stuff to
bag.
happen.
Yeah, he's going to go deep in his bag for that.
you
But
probably
that's
could
why I
win the
think with
division
Josh,
somehow.
Josh over these next 3 games has to go fucking nuclear in order
Yeah,
to
that's
win
true.
and then go to Miami and win the division and also go nuclear. It can't be a 7 completion game. So that's why I think against the Cowboys, had he had a decent game at best, you can give him the MVP. But it was clear they were able to blow out a team without him. So he didn't look like the most valuable player yesterday. James Cook did. And I never thought I would say that.
Man,
The
offensive
Bills
line.
are a different team, though. I feel like when they can establish the run, like
Yeah.
every single game that I've watched them this year, they always just keep throwing it the whole fucking
Yeah,
time.
we
But
knew
the
that
ones
we
where-
had that.
the ones where they actually like ground and pound, like stick to the run at the start of the game to establish that. They're so much better.
Well, Joe
That's why
Brady-
they're such a threat.
Joe Brady deserves a fuck ton of credit because like that team looked dead in the water with Ken Dorsey as their OC.
Hey, relax, Mirror Money High School.
Yeah, but shout out to you. And now that Joe Brady has taken over, that team has looked different. Like, and defensively, they've had a ton of injuries also.
Defensively,
And
that's another thing. They looked great yesterday.
looked
They were getting
amazing.
after the passing. Now, obviously, the Cowboys had their offensive line issues. Zach Martin was out, but they still looked great. And the Cowboys aren't a bad offensive line; they're decent. So
They're just
The Bills look good. The
It
Bills
is
look good on
crazy to
every
think,
front.
though, that Brock Purdy is going to win an MVP before Josh Allen
That is crazy.
and Joe Burrow
and Joe Burrow.
But you
Yeah,
won't
and
be
Jake
able-
Browning. I mean,
Yeah.
sheesh.
Of course. You want to
Yeah.
give us your hypothetical you had about the
Oh
Niners?
yeah. So this is interesting hypothetical brought up by the Game Days Matt Williams. Saw it on Twitter last
Shout
night,
out.
and as a
Shout out Matt,
Niner
man.
fans, because everyone, in case you guys didn't know, like the Niners a little bit.
Nope.
Um,
You like the Chicago Bulls?
It's a great hat though,
Baseball
right?
cards.
So really good hypothetical. That was super interesting. Would the Niners be worse off if you replace Brock Purdy with a league average quarterback? Let's say
Ryan Tannehill.
fucking Daniel Jones, like that level,
Right?
right?
Middle of the road guy.
Middle of the road the middle of the pack guy is like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. Or would they be worse off if you had a league average running back instead of Christian McCaffrey?
Whew.
Like a Raheem Mostert.
Like, would they be
I was
worse
trying to do this
off?
fuck with you.
Which would
Like,
make them
like,
Yeah,
Single season record for the
Like
Dolphins.
a Bijan Robinson, like average. I'm fucking around.
was it average?
I would say like James Cook.
Well, that's not
Like,
a good
Obviously,
time.
yeah,
No,
like,
like,
great game.
it's not
Joe
good.
Mixon. Joe Mixon.
No,
Najee
he's better than
Harris.
average.
Najee Harris.
Najee Harris.
He's
Najee
also
Harris.
above average.
Sure.
I would say as
Sure.
well. But
But
okay.
you know what I'm getting at. Like
Yeah,
that realm.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Ladainian Tomlinson.
It's-
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba
could
Hubbard.
be that.
Chuba
yeah.
Hubbard.
Okay, a middle of the road running
Right,
back.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
Sure.
So which one would the Niners be worse off?
They'd be worse with the
Quarterback.
quarterback. in
I
my
think we'd be
opinion.
worse with the league average
Because
quarterback.
I feel like you saw that with Jimmy G, who's an average quarterback who played above average in a better system.
Well, I think, yeah, it's partly that. It's like Brock is making throws down the field towards the sideline, all the stuff that Jimmy never makes. It would be like if he made one, you're like, holy fuck, Jimmy, let's
Yeah.
go.
I do think there's a
It's
huge
never a
argument,
thing.
though, to be made about the running back.
I
because
don't.
CMC
I don't-
has been
I know
fucking-
Felipe thinks that, but I'm just going to get into it real quick and then I'll let you talk for a little bit.
Thanks, dude.
I think before the Niners got Christian McCaffrey, people forgot how good that Kyle Shanahan made
Totally.
every running back look. Any running back, and I'm convinced this, any running back that is an NFL caliber player, if you are just able to make it to the NFL, Kyle Shanahan can turn you into 1,200 yard rusher. He can turn you into that because of his scheme, because of his system, because of how talented he is at the run game. That's,
Yep.
You look at Elijah Mitchell. He was awesome. Matt Breida for a little bit. Raheem
Mostert,
Mostert,
Jeff
Jeff Wilson.
Yep.
Like the list goes on of all these guys. And once they leave the Niners, granted, Raheem's having a career year right now, but McDaniel has the same kind of system.
Yeah,
as
Matt
Shanahan.
Breida.
Shanahan guy.
But
Yeah.
you look at Matt Breida hasn't done jack shit. Jeff
Yep.
Wilson hasn't done jack shit since he left. Like all these guys have not. Elijah Mitchell is still in the
Well,
Niners.
Jeff was
but,
good
like,
last year. Just but the
That's it.
system. The system.
but I'm saying, like when we didn't have McCaffrey, Jeff Wilson played really well.
Just fine.
Like, I think you can replace McCaffrey. Not to say that McCaffrey's not incredible. I love him. Stuff he does is dynamic. But the Niners with a league average quarterback, you go back to a Jimmy Garoppolo. We're not the same.
Well, didn't
team.
we see it in like week 5 or 6? There was a game where Elijah Mitchell had more yards on the ground than CMC, and they still blew out the team.
Yeah, they schemed him out well.
It's not now. CMC is a pure luxury at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
they
a
don't
luxury.
fucking
Oh,
need
when
him.
we traded for him, I was like, great, love him, my favorite college player ever. But like, we don't need that.
But
Like,
some
I
of
was
the-
like, let's trade for a corner instead.
But we
Like,
are taking for granted some of the throws that Brock Purdy is making. That throw he made to Deebo Samuel at the pylon yesterday. Like we were all watching it together. And we were like,
he
holy.
makes a few of
fuck.
those like every week. It's
Yeah.
just insane.
Now, to say that you could just plug in a league average quarterback and you're still hooping is just, it's a pure discredit to what Brock's
Not
doing.
necessarily because we saw it with Jimmy G. You said he was average and he was hooping. per
Right.
se.
But they didn't win. He wasn't ever putting up these
Wasn't
types
Jimmy
of
G in a
numbers.
couple MVP conversations?
Never,
Nah,
never. He was never
I
an
feel like
MVP.
he was.
He was never an MVP.
Like maybe not by the end of the year. He wasn't a top 3 candidate.
Maybe it would be
but
like before the season started one year.
like mid-year. I feel like.
No,
But-
he was never talking.
Jimmy G
No
was
one
never
ever
in an
thought
MVP
this.
argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one ever made
He
it.
was always. We were always winning in spite of Jimmy.
Correct.
Right. He was always like, oh man, like when's the Jimmy fuck up coming? Because you know it's coming once a game.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's
maybe
gonna
they
do
call it-
some stupid shit once a game, right?
The Niners, the Niners have been to what 2
Who's-
NFC Championship games recently
Two, yes, two.
with Jimmy G. That's one of the best teams in the league. That's one
But
of the best teams
we
in the
made
past
it to the
decade
last two
with an
NFC.
average quarterback in Jimmy G. So I think like Brock is better than that. And that's why I think we have to make that distinction. Brock, like you can sub in an average quarterback, and the Niners are going to be fucking amazing. They're going to be the best team in the league by far. It doesn't matter. With Brock, they're even better. That's just like that's
That's
simple.
fair. That's fair.
And so, but I do agree with you. They can sub in any running back, have success with the run game. McCaffrey's different, but he's a luxury.
different beast, man.
And also, Brock's a luxury as well because you don't need him. The Niners are the most complete team we've seen.
The Niners, you could say
Appreciate
even
that.
that the Niners don't need either. and they'd be.
I
fine.
don't need either.
Well, we
Bro,
we were talking about this.
Take them both out, put in an average person at each position. and
Average of
still
both.
be really.
Give me a fucking elite cornerback instead.
We started going
I'm
into
good with
this
that.
during the live yesterday, and you began going into it, and I want to bring it back up. I'm at the point where I believe this, but the Niners' entire skill position is the best we've seen in the last 2 decades. Kittle, Ayuk, CMC, Deebo Samuel, that quad
Juwan Jennings
and Juwan Jennings, that starting 5, I'll give you Juwan just for the sake of third down conversions, because you need someone to do it on third down.
That's a good point.
Might be the greatest starting 5 in the last 2 decades.
Well, I have to go back. Like, there's like the there's the greatest show on turf with the Rams with Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Marshall Falk. Like, that was fucking
Okay,
crazy.
so who was their 4 and 5 then? Like, I can't pick.
Well,
Maybe I'm
Juwan
wrong.
Jennings is our 5, so stop bringing
Yeah,
that
but like
up.
starting 5 sounds way cleaner than starting 4.
Shit, they
The
had a
blacktop.
good tight end then too. I think I forget.
Like,
his name.
I can't pull it out. Maybe I'm wrong, but like it just in recent memory feels
I
like
don't know, man.
that's.
Torrey. I think Torrey Holt, Marshall Falk, and Isaac Bruce is
But that's a
better
trio.
trio than the
Demarius
trio that
Thomas,
goes.
Wes Welker,
But-
Eric Decker.
Yeah, Peyton
Nah,
made them all
Peyton-
better. though.
Peyton made them great. Like,
Yeah, but
think about like what
Demarius
Tom
Thomas
Brady
was
had
good.
when he had Randy Moss, Wes
So was-
Welker, Gronk.
but the argument
Who-
isn't
who was
about
the Thomas who was the tight end on that Denver Broncos.
Julius Thomas.
Julius Thomas.
And he fell off quick.
No,
Yeah,
but
but he was
the
filthy.
conversation is about the trio. It's about the quadruple. It's about having like the fact that Kittle is in there makes the Niners what they have
It's McCaffrey,
as unique
Kittle,
as it
Ayuk,
gets.
Deebo.
So like if you want to bring up a trio and then whatever tight end was there, sure. But just the fact of the matter is they have some of the best at their positions on this team, and it's incredible.
You
And
can argue we have the best tight end and running back. I think all around tight
This-
end wise, you can argue
this
that
all
year,
around
maybe.
tight end, yeah. And
Yeah.
just the way Kelsey's played, it definitely
Yeah.
improves that.
and Kittle's a 6th offensive lineman as well out there
Yeah.
blocking. Like, that helps our run scheme.
What do you think? Do you think that the starting 5, including Juwan Jennings, because of
Just
third down,
don't
specifically-
include Juwan, bro.
but like
Don't
it's
include
I
Juwan.
don't the starting 4,
The quad.
Yes,
of
most-
CMC, Deebo, Ayuk, Kittle, is that the best starting 4 of skill position players in the last 2 decades?
I feel like we have to think though.
I can't
Yeah,
think.
I
He's more of a
I said
historian.
I said for a few weeks that they're the most complete team we've seen maybe ever.
But that's
So,
factoring offensive line. I'm not factoring an offensive line. I just want the skills.
I think your skill position. I think the only team that could potentially come to mind is the Steelers, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio
Oh my
Brown, Big
God.
Ben. They were nasty.
That was disgusting.
Like
We're not even including
We're
quarterback.
not even
though.
including quarterback though.
okay, Le'Veon and AB, the duo of that is better than what the Niners have now.
But
I
that's
think
the
when
problem. That's the point.
Yeah,
You can't factor because he brought up Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, and Marshall Falk. You can't bring the trio in to come with like I'm talking about these literally 4 guys. Are there anyone 4
Kittle,
to 4?
McCaffrey, Deebo, and Ayuk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can any other team in the last since 2000 go up against those 4 guys in every position? 2 wide receivers, a running back, and a tight end. I don't know.
Tyreek, Travis, and Kareem Hunt. They were close. But they
That's
don't have
exactly
asking
what
that
someone
it
in the
was that
comments
4,
just
right?
said.
Yeah.
Said that.
Yeah,
Tyree
someone
Travis,
said that.
Kareem Hunt was
2019
But then
Chase.
who was that 4th?
They don't have. They didn't have the 4th.
I don't
That's-
think it matters though, because that
It does-
trio
it
might
has
be.
to
Watkins,
matter.
Watkins.
I'm dead serious.
It has to matter.
Sammy?
Sammy Watkins. I think that
Kelsey Hill,
could
Kareem
be-
Hunt, Sammy Watkins.
I think it has to matter. I think it has to
Uh,
because then you're making the argument. Then who the fuck was the tight end for the Rams?
the Rams.
Like
I think they had one, but I forget, bro. I was like 2. Like,
Yeah.
Dallas
Um,
Clark, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison.
then Joseph Adai
I mean,
Yeah,
was
no.
Edgerrin James there at that
or
time?
Edgerrin
No, no,
James.
no.
No, I think it was Adai. That's still good, but I mean, it's
No,
hard to
the
compare
four-
though.
You get what I'm
Because-
saying though?
Because of recency bias,
I
it's hard to
agree.
compare.
But do you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
me,
absolutely.
I think there's a serious
The
conversation that
fact that
this
you
is
can
one
have
of
a
the
serious
best.
conversation is crazy.
And
That's
there could be
wild.
people we're easily missing, and I feel like we're gonna stop the pod and we're gonna be like, how do we forget about these guys? Or the comments are gonna
100%.
say that. But what the Niners have right now, like I don't want to say we're taking it for granted right now, but like this, appreciate this. You as a Niners fan, I know,
Oh.
appreciate this team because
Oh.
this is loaded.
This is
Somebody's-
this is the best team out of any. I think out of any team I've ever been a fan of, this might be the best team in any sport. And, like, I'm a Warriors
Better than the
fan.
Warriors. Ooh.
I'm a Warriors fan, and we had the 72-9 or 73-9 year, technically best
Bro,
record
you got
ever.
KD.
I got one.
We
got
got
one?
KD years, like
Figured it out.
27 KD, but I'm telling you,
I got
Tyreek
one.
Durham, Smythe, Jalen Waddle, and Raheem Mostert.
oh,
Nah.
Durham Smythe.
Julio Jones,
Oh.
Michael Turner. I think they had Tony Gonzalez that year. He
Did
was
they?
having a good
They have
year.
Roddy
with the
White.
Devontae
Falcons.
Freeman.
And Roddy
White.
might have still been there. We had to look at that. They
Roddy
had a
White
good-
had like that couple years.
that was
there where he
that
a
was
good
they were
pull.
good. They lost to the Packers in a divisional round.
That's
They
a
were
good pull,
nasty.
though. But was Tony good that year?
Somebody said 2004 Colts.
Who was on that? We
That
got
would've been Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison,
Well, that's
Dallas
what I-
Clark.
Edgerrin
That
might have
would've
been
been
in
Edgerrin
2004.
That's what I'm
James.
saying.
Ooh.
That one's up
That's
there.
there. Yeah. Like I'm sure. Honestly,
Was that the Colts team that went to the Super Bowl?
like in 2004, bro, I
12
was
and 4?
7. So I
Yeah, it
don't
was.
I don't
Edgerrin
remember
and
that
James.
much.
Okay, so that one has a conversation. Edgerrin James, Marvin Harrison,
That's
Reggie
okay.
Wayne, Dallas Clark.
Edgerrin.
That's
Ed-
better.
No, like,
Edgerrin?
that's
Edgerrin?
that's better.
It's spelled with a G,
Objectively,
but it's
Yeah.
Edgerrin.
objectively, because you have two
That's
Hall
better.
Same,
you have
same.
2 Hall of Fame wide receivers, Hall of Fame running back, right?
Yeah.
James Hall of Famer, and then Dallas Clark is like he's fringe.
Miami Hurricanes, Edgerrin.
Like that's a
Yeah,
damn good team.
I think 2
With
of the
fucking
4 of
Peyton
the
Manning,
Niners will
that
be
team was crazy.
2 of the 4 on those Niners will be Hall of Famers.
I think
Kittle and McCaffrey, I think.
McCaffrey, Kittle, Debo.
Maybe has a shot.
He's a
Yeah,
shot.
maybe Ayuk, if
don't
he
think
goes
so.
to a different team and he's the guy, could do it. I don't think he can do it with the Niners. Which
I
is
don't
sad.
know.
That's crazy.
No, it's fun, man. And then if you talk about super team, just look at the defensive side too. You can compare our front 7 with any that's ever played.
Yeah.
like
Dude,
my
you
opinion
guys are
is-
loaded.
yeah. Man.
All right, let's
It's
talk
wild.
about some other games
The
though.
art
Your-
of
your
the,
Globo
the
Gym.
art of the rookie deal.
Your Globo Gym.
Cap.
Yeah, your Globo Gym.
Let's talk about
Mm.
Sunday Night Football last night, the Ravens Jaguars game. Kind of a blowout. The Ravens statement win against the Jaguars yet again.
I feel like the Jaguars just got like out coached. Like they just did so much stupid shit.
Dude,
Like,
that
definitely got-
management,
but they got
that clock
out-executed.
management at the end of the first half
It's
was
ridiculous.
fucking gross.
But
And
you
Brandon
blame that on
McManus
Trevor
did them-
Lawrence.
Brandon McManus kind of
what do you
screwed them.
think?
How do you not blow that on Trevor Lawrence? Like, how is that not Trevor Lawrence's fault though?
It's
Like-
both. It's both.
Wasn't he
The
calling for the
coach,
spike?
coach has to be in his ear, spike
you
it,
say-
spike it, spike it, spike it. Like, because or else he's gonna go to the line and tell him to spike. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's
And Trevor said no. Fuck that. Like,
maybe
it's
I think maybe they like tried to do somewhere like you line up and you just
Fake it?
You have you run a play
Bro.
because instead everyone thinks you're gonna spike it, but instead you kind of catch the defense on their heels.
there was 12 seconds left, and instead of taking a shot, he threw it
Yeah,
a little
if you're
2-yard
gonna run
out
a play
route.
there, you have to take a shot.
It was like a 2-yard out route from
It's
the
not even a
fucking
shot,
6.
bro. It's like this. Yeah, you're at the 5-yard
Like
line.
the-
Right, you
need
can't
to
just
know.
trust your guys to get to the end zone.
You
if
are
you're not
run-
in the end zone.
You are running down the field knowing that time is running down. No shit. Like that's in the back of your
Yeah.
head. Also, like we've put like Trevor Lawrence has had such incredible flashes at times and such
He had
slow
one-
lows.
He had
Like,
one drive last night where I was like, damn, like he still got it.
Are they still going to win the division?
it's close with the Texans because the Texans
And the
won yesterday.
Colts.
And the Colts.
Colts,
Yeah,
too.
They're all 8-6.
bro. Like
They're forging for sure.
They are
what-
for sure forging.
Like, I think if the Jaguars make the playoffs, they don't stand a chance in the first round.
Well, there'll be a 4 seed who'll go up against the 5 seed, which would be like the Browns, probably.
it doesn't.
Like-
yeah, it's
Joe Flacco and the Browns are looking nice, so I don't know. About
Yeah, I
that.
don't know.
the Ravens are though. Like and we've
The who?
Felipe, you've been on the Ravens.
Okay.
Felipe's obviously a massive Ravens fan and,
Huge.
and has bought stock super early, but
Massive.
Dude,
Lamar Jackson
shout
just
out
looks like
J.K.
he's
Dobbins,
playing the
man.
game at such a different level this year. Like his confidence, his poise, like
I say
he's a-
he seems like less stressed and scrambly.
Yeah, I
than
agree.
Before
that one play where he they almost sacked him and he like fucking did
Oh
a
yeah, that was
crazy barrel roll or
He's
whatever
so
some
good.
shit it
He's
was,
so good.
and then threw it up to Isaiah Likely. And granted, Isaiah Likely should get all the credit for that because he's the one that really made the play.
that play.
But Lamar kept it alive, and I feel like in the past Lamar would just take off and run, and he's just sitting back there like a quarterback.
So well lately.
No,
He's like-
he knows that he can sling it, and he's finally utilizing that. Like,
Frankly,
more
it's
than he
kinda
has.
cool,
If Lamar played like how we know Lamar can play, he would have ran away with the MVP. But they just haven't needed him to do that. He's just like the Ravens have just been decimating teams and just
The
beating them
defense.
down. Defense, like they've been executing. They
by,
lost
by
J.K.
far the
Dobbins
best
early.
defense in the NFL this year too. Like,
Mark
it's not
Andrews
even
will be out
close.
for the
Nah, I
playoffs,
think
right?
Cleveland's better.
You think so?
Defensive.
I think stats. If you look at like statistics and stuff, it looks like the
Cleveland's
Ravens-
defense is disgusting, and they've lost pieces.
The Ravens have an offense that helps the defense.
That's
But I
true.
think the Ravens are probably the most disrespected team in the league because they've been the best team all year. What? San Fran. But even then, Ravens have probably been better than San Fran because they never went through a 3-game losing streak where they looked bad. I think San Fran's better than the Ravens. But to say that, like, the Bills finally start playing a little bit better, like, obviously they smoked the Cowboys, but start playing a little bit better, and they're already the best team in the AFC. That's so disrespectful to the Ravens, who week in and week out have been the best team. And Lamar Jackson is playing like one of the
Oh,
best
for sure.
quarterbacks in the league.
I
He's a
disrespect the
former
fuck out of them.
MVP.
Yeah, there's recency bias there, though. The Bills just beat the Cowboys. The
I-
Ravens
I
beat the
think-
Jaguars.
Yeah,
I
but,
think it's
but
also-
my,
But
but
we
my
were saying
logic
that
with
last
the,
week, too.
Yeah, but my logic with the Bills is that to me, I view them as a 10-4 team. That's why I think the Bills are better.
You know what it is, to be completely honest too? It's that the Bills are on prime time all the time, so we see them in that lens.
That's
more.
true. I feel like I never get to watch
The Ravens
Lamar.
are not on
Nah,
prime
the
time
Ravens have
often.
played. I feel like the Ravens
I feel
have
like I
played a
never
lot
get
in
to
prime
watch
I think they've
time.
been
Lamar.
like
Last
2
night
this year.
was a
Same
treat.
with the Bills.
Oh,
Watching
it's-
Lamar
it's-
is
the
special.
Bills been-
So is Lamar, like, do you?
I think it's because we've seen Josh Allen in the past. We just like the country likes Josh Allen more. However, there's only one former MVP.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm right.
I mean, the Ravens are scary, but
The Ravens are scary.
the problem is they just don't have a one.
You know what I was gonna say. You know
They
what it is.
don't.
I
They
think
don't. Their weapons aren't
I
there.
think it's because Lamar's weapons are just not like anyone else's in the NFL. That's that top echelon type
Yeah.
of team. But obviously, Lamar is a totally different talent than anyone we've ever seen in the league. He's incredible, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants to do, basically any given play. I just think it's because when you look at Baltimore's weapons, you're just like, they're all fine.
yeah,
Like, they're
but
solid.
same with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the
Patrick Mahomes is
But the Chiefs
different.
have Travis
He's
Kelce at
He also
least,
has
even though
Travis
who might be
Mid.
So shouldn't Lamar be in the MVP front runner then at that point?
what?
With
If
no
we're-
help doing what they're doing, like to your point,
if
like
we're
it's insane.
if we're talking about wins and losses, and that does play a major factor, he
Yeah.
should be in the conversation. But because then you take it to the
Stati-
next level, which is
statistics-wise, he's
stats,
not
you won't win it.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
he doesn't need to.
But in terms of him carrying, we are not appreciating how much Lamar is
Unfortunately,
carrying
that's
this
not how it
Ravens team.
works.
That's what I feel. That's how I think. That's the best way to like categorize it. Is that Lamar is carrying this Ravens
we
team?
talk about value, bro. The Niners, as we talked about, without Brock, sub anybody in, they're the best team in the NFC.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my God.
weird though.
The
It's like
Ravens without Lamar don't win 5 games.
Tyler Huntley last year Pro Bowler though. They got a Pro Bowl back.
Yeah, I
That's
wish that
insane.
So you get to remember that.
that's the right mentality of any MVP in
Right.
any professional sports league. It's like it
That-
should be
that's
who's
how
the most valuable in your
That's how
team.
we all look at
That's
it.
like saying LeBron should win MVP every year. It's like he is obviously the most value, right, to getting his team to win. Those years when he went to the finals
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Cleveland with
Cleveland.
no one there, like,
That's like
but he wasn't putting up the
also
numbers. and
Patrick
ultimately
Mahomes
that's
would
what it's
win that
about.
bitch every single year then.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, and I don't
Exactly.
I think the reason they do it, the MVP award is not what the name of it is. It's who is the best player this year.
Dude, if the Chiefs
That's
didn't
what
have Patrick Mahomes,
it's really
this year,
who's the
they
best
wouldn't
quarterback.
scratch 6 wins either. Like,
I don't know. Blaine Gabbert, Mizzou guy backup though. So don't
Cool.
he was a backup. Is he their
course.
backup?
Oh yeah, Mizzou guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Missouri boy, back home in Missouri and Kansas City. So it's
I do
kinda-
think though it is almost time to start raising the red flag on Trevor Lawrence because he
Absolutely.
he has been horrible.
I mean, at what point, if that was any other quarterback, right? Like flip it. Like
Oh,
Brock,
God. I was
Brock,
thinking
if
that
he was
last night,
drafted,
that fumble he had, I was thinking that last night. I was like, guys would have gotten crucified for that.
Brock,
if that's Dak, if
Oh,
that's
it's
Brock,
so
if that's
bad.
Tua, they're getting fucking shelled.
We have to talk
Yeah.
about Dak and Brock and 2 on the same level. If Dak happens, he's getting Brock. Nobody would talk about.
Yes, if Brock did stupid shit like that in the game, absolutely he's getting talked about.
not to the same level.
Not to the same level.
I will say.
So no one's at the same level as Dak.
Yeah,
But I feel
I think
like
that's what he said.
we are starting to give Trevor Lawrence the treatment of
Herbert.
Justina Herberta.
Well,
Herbert has balled out this year. Actually, we should talk about the Chargers.
Okay, so
No, but I think it's because you see the arm talent, you see the potential what these guys can do, but they just haven't put it fully together. Justin Herbert actually, first season, has put it together. They just haven't gotten the wins.
yeah.
The Jags are actually winning football games right now, but
But
Trevor
he's not.
Lawrence, honestly, in spite of Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
So it's kind of weird. Like they're a little different, but they're both going to get passes for a while on the two different things. Like one's winning, the other one's like actually performing. I think if we don't see Trevor Lawrence, like, because they're probably going to make the playoffs this year, let's say they do. If he doesn't have a good game in the playoffs, like, remember last year in the playoffs before they came back, he had 3 picks in the first half.
Yeah.
So if he has another dud towards the end of the season or in the playoffs, like we do have to talk about him being not a bust, but he's just like a Baker Mayfield. All right. Sorry,
Yeah.
like a league average starting quarterback. You can start every year the rest of your career, but you're just not that.
I saw someone on Twitter say Trevor Lawrence sold us a bag of goods. He had one amazing year in college, and just everyone has held on to that.
No, it was multiple years in college. No,
I didn't.
Yeah,
look-
I
I
mean,
didn't fact
It
check.
was when he came in.
I'm just reading the
when he
tweet.
came in to win the national championship, and then his sophomore year, he played really well. But then his next year, he didn't play. that great, so.
If that's any other quarterback,
Never won a Heisman. Like
if that's any other quarterback, we're having conversations. But because of what we've seen out of Trevor Lawrence, like here's what I would say. If we go into this offseason and Brock, whether he wins MVP or not, but with the way he plays, someone still comes in and says, I'm going to put Trevor Lawrence over Brock Purdy in my quarterback rankings, I don't understand how.
well, you're just a moron at that
ceiling,
point.
ceiling.
But ceiling is not a fair argument every
Brock
time.
has made more high level throws than Trevor Lawrence this year.
Like Brock has played amazing. If you want
He
to bring up like
processes better.
I'm
like,
giving you the reason why somebody would say it.
right, but I'm saying like if you want to say if you want to say Tua over Trevor Lawrence and do that, then like sure a little bit. Like Tua's obviously played well, but I understand that because we've kind of seen what's gonna Tua's gonna be. But at least when it comes to like Brock, who's putting up a strong MVP case and is making high level throws, it's not fair. And that's just my only thought to like the Trevor Lawrence. When you say raise the red flag, that's the flag I think we need to raise. Is that like how far is that number 1 overall pick gonna go before we actually start having the conversation? The same way we would slander Herbert, the same way we would slander
Trevor might fall out of the top 10 this year.
Like,
Brock needs to win a Super Bowl.
I agree, unfortunately, because he's the last pick in the draft, but he was the first.
Well, not only that, but it's the team he has.
But if he was the first overall pick, it would be very different.
Like Troy Aikman still doesn't get the credit that a lot of people think he should get because he played with the stacked team. That just is what it is. So Brock needs to win multiple rings.
no, I don't disagree.
Well, I think if Brock wins 1 ring,
I think one puts him in the conversation.
And or the MVP, he is by
one
far
Super
in
Bowl
that
ring,
top.
people would then forget the ceiling of Trevor and say Brock is better than Trevor.
Brock could win the MVP if we don't win the Super Bowl this year. It'll be like a fraudulent MVP.
It'll be like Matt Ryan.
I'm excited to see what the rankings
congrats,
are.
Brock, on your Mickey Mouse MVP.
I'm excited to see what our
like,
offseason quarterback rankings are.
That's what everyone's gonna say, right?
It will be that.
I will not say that.
We have to be realistic. That's exactly what it's going to be.
Bro, if Brock wins the MVP,
I know
like
exactly
they
how
likely
people are gonna
lost.
say it.
Like they, no.
If Brock wins the MVP, he deserves to be ranked higher than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
But it doesn't. I'm telling you, like I agree, but it doesn't fucking matter because everyone else is going to talk about the team. This is Mickey Mouse MVP. Oh, congrats! You couldn't actually win when it mattered. Like all this.
Okay, but we also put Lamar very high up. Why? Because he has an MVP. Brock Purdy has an MVP. Don't tell me that the fucking ceiling is higher than Trevor Lawrence. I don't give a shit if he doesn't win the Super Bowl.
What Lamar did in college and shit. So like you have that image in your brain already of him.
Bro, if Brock wins the MVP, there is not regardless of winning the Super Bowl, there is not a fucking single person that should discredit that MVP because he lost the Super Bowl.
But people
bullshit.
I agree.
Now,
But
You know what's gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen?
What?
You're gonna hate this. Also, real quick, is Brock's gonna win MVP. They're gonna lose in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen will still be ranked higher than him.
I know exactly how this is going to go.
That's fair though.
Because Josh and
that should be okay.
That's a little bit different.
Josh won't make the playoffs, won't make the Super Bowl, and won't have an MVP. And Josh Allen will still.
But that's a little different. That's a little different though.
But Josh has proven more in his career.
That's where I was going to go with. What were you going to say? You were going to
just saying there are caveats here to like you don't just need the accolades to be.
No, I agree. I just think
the
like
best. But Trevor Lawrence doesn't have the accolades or the stats. So it's like. Even though we think this guy has all the intangibles, all the capabilities of doing these great things in the league, he just like has.
I think it's if we say this Brock's MVP is invalid if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, I think that's just ridiculous.
So what if Brock wins MVP
and they don't win the Super Bowl?
They lose in the divisional round, upset, lose in the divisional round. Trevor doesn't even win a first round game.
I'm going to put Brock over him.
See, but that's what my problem is because
like you still have to do something to win the MVP. Let's not act like you just can like sit there and like bing, 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 bing. Like
I totally agree with that.
And he's also just like number 1 in almost every statistical category. It's
but
not
it was
like
so easy. It was so easy. Lamar won MVP. It was so easy to put Josh Allen and Joe Burrow over Lamar Jackson.
But I think at that time, once he won the MVP, he was up there.
But that was also 5 years ago that he won the MVP.
But Lamar has had the best record, I think, since he's come into the league. Like Lamar's stats. Obviously, he was hurt last year, so the Ravens didn't win. I always talk about this. We don't want to talk about it. Lamar didn't play last year. When Lamar's healthy, he's a top 2 quarterback in the NFL. However, it's so easy to put Joe Burrow there. It's so easy to put Josh Allen in front of him. Neither has an MVP. Joe Burrow's never been in an MVP conversation.
Well, Josh Allen, they like has put up.
So that
MVP
also what
numbers.
I'm saying is by the standards that you guys are talking about, then Joe Burrow should have never been even in the top 5 quarterback
I think it's because of his playoff success.
The standard is the team. Like what's the team success? What are your numbers during that time and your playoff success, right? Like Lamar has gotten the numbers 1 year and then drastically has gotten worse. Like that's just a fact. He's gotten worse. Now that's a Greg Roman type of thing. That's like the weapons around him. That's
he had the greatest season. He had the greatest quarterback season of all time, arguably one of them.
And then what happened?
The first unanimous
and then what happened?
And then what happened? The Ravens got more wins every single year.
But I understand that.
When he's hurt, they lose.
I'm just saying statistically, his stats, Lamar's stats got worse.
He hasn't had a year like that.
That's my
Brady
point.
never had a year like 2007, and he won 3 more MVPs.
I get it. I'm saying the reason Josh Allen he began to go up is Josh Allen began to put up MVP like numbers. So when Lamar's went like this and Josh went like this, naturally it nets out. So if you want to put Josh
I'm
there,
just saying I'm not comparing him to Josh or anything. I'm just saying
I agree with Joe Burrow.
The MVP, like
I'm with you.
Lamar won MVP, and he's still under other guys. I'm saying so now if we want
So if
Brock
Brock
to be in
Purdy
front of
wins
other
that
guys
game,
I
because
get
he won
it.
MVP.
yeah, he will still
I
be
get
under
it.
other guys.
Let's hold the same.
But when
thing.
we're
I
talking
agree.
to
I
Trevor,
totally
when we're
agree.
talking about Trevor Lawrence, though,
Then
it's
he has
A
neither.
lot,
He is
of
neither.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot
I
of it's
totally
just
agree.
public perception. That's
I
all.
totally
Like, you
agree.
can't change.
I think
that.
it's such a fair argument with Joe.
Yeah.
But like we've also shit on Joe, and Bengals
I
Twitter
think-
also shit on us.
Well,
this
I
week.
think the thing with Joe is that he's had the playoff success. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to the AFC Championship the next year that he was healthy. Like he's had success in the playoffs, whereas Lamar has not. That could be the difference too. It's like it depends what you weigh.
it's
right?
so subjective, man. It's whatever you
Exactly.
prefer.
Yeah, but Brock
subjective.
has what, one playoff one?
Well, he played. Yeah, no,
He's only played.
two.
Yes, too.
Yeah.
Did y'all
Lost
play the
that.
wild card last year?
Yeah, we weren't the ones seed. I don't think.
I don't think
Yeah, the
he-
Eagles
The
were.
Eagles were the ones.
Yes, because
He
we
won two.
won two.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And then he got hurt. Like
that's why. So that's why I say, like, if he loses in the divisional round, then
Oh yeah, it's a different story. You have to perform the playoffs.
is it still valid to put Trevor Lawrence ahead of him?
I'll say no.
You guys say no,
because I'm going to
but I'm
credit the
just
MVP.
saying we did that
Oh,
with Burrow ahead of Lamar.
no,
That's all
that's
I'm
fair.
saying.
It depends.
But Lamar being
it
hurt.
depends if Trevor Lawrence does something. If Trevor Lawrence, goes to the AFC Championship game this year and Brock Purdy doesn't win a playoff game, I would, even as a Niners fan, consider still putting Trevor.
But it's the
above.
same argument with Aaron
Like-
Rodgers. We put Aaron Rodgers there, but now the Aaron Rodgers, like who was a back-to-back MVP, and then he gets hurt. Naturally, he's going to fall out of that ranking. So Lamar getting hurt last year hurt his case to still stay in that
All right,
top
Jags make the Super Bowl this year.
five. Okay.
Trevor's stats
Trevor's
very
better than
subpar,
Brock.
very subpar.
But they make the Super Bowl.
But they make the Super Bowl. Very subpar. They make the Super Bowl. One of those like dark horse runs, and then he loses the Super Bowl.
He's getting put all the way up there because they
Yeah,
won those games
I
and made the
agree.
Super Bowl.
He's
If the
getting the Joe Burrow
Jaguars can
treatment.
make a Super Bowl,
Yeah,
the
but
Jacksonville
should he, though?
Jaguars. No, but I'm saying that's how the public perception is going to work. That's how
That's how it worked for Burrow. Yeah,
that's
the
how
same thing,
that's
yeah.
how my brain is going to work.
Yeah.
Because quarterback, I mean, you're the one guy
You're
that
the
touches
center
the
of
ball
the
every
team.
single play.
Center of the team.
Like,
That's
and
fair.
I'm sure in those to get to the Super Bowl, it's not like he can just play like shit and they get
No,
there.
you can be a manager.
One
Yeah,
of
you
the
can be a- you
greatest
can be a good
quarterbacks of
manager
all
and you can
time,
make
Eli Manning,
plays.
won 2 Super Bowls.
He played well in
with
the playoffs.
Fucking awesome.
He played
team.
very
those
well in the
playoffs.
playoffs.
No, he balled. He balled.
I don't
But
know.
I'm saying he wasn't necessarily the reason they got there. Always.
Let
You
me
know what
ask
I
you,
mean?
how many of us, when we made our rankings this offseason, put Aaron Rodgers in our top 5?
Probably.
I think all of
I
us.
did, yeah.
I think all of us. You didn't?
No.
Okay, so
think
you
I
might have
did.
been the only one. He for me was like 5. I had him over like
He might have
Jalen
been
Hurts
he might have
and
been
shit.
like 6, but I don't think I used him.
But he won. He was a back-to-back MVP and then had a down year, and yet we still put him in there.
Yeah.
So I just think when it comes to like Lamar, he just hasn't gotten close. They might have won, but
This
the
isn't
Greg
a Lamar conversation. This is a Brock Purdy conversation. though.
right. And I think if Brock Purdy wins the MVP, naturally I need to be able to put him very high up because he deserves it. He played well. That's my argument.
we
Won the
gotta
MVP.
keep moving because we have other things
gotta
to
do it
talk
tomorrow.
about, and I want to wrap up.
I
soon.
have always had Lamar in my top 5.
You mentioned the Chargers before.
Yeah.
We didn't get to talk about them after
Nah.
that blowout on Thursday Night
oh
Football
my god!
to the Raiders. Hey, finally we wake up and Brandon Staley doesn't have a job.
Thank God, bro.
Congrats.
He should have got. That motherfucker should have got fired at halftime. Like,
did you see
straight
what
up.
Richard Sherman said?
What he say?
Nah.
Literally at halftime, he was like, "They should break records here. They should be the groundbreaking moment, first team ever to fire their head coach at
That'd be pretty
halftime."
cool.
Because he's been having to get fired, and then you get down 42-0 to Aiden fucking O'Connell,
Dude,
brother.
he had 4 touchdowns in the first half.
Oh my
right?
god, that was
It's
bad.
I
insane.
think they scored 9 touchdowns that game.
That-
See that pick 6 by whoever that was?
Oh yeah, that was fucking crazy.
With the
Crazy.
fucking
One hand.
Yeah,
Jack
that was
Jones?
awesome. Jack Jones. Yeah.
Jack
Oh my
Jones.
god.
Who the Patriots
Patriot
cut?
legend.
Yeah. The Patriots cut him because of a fucking gun incident, I think, at the airport.
He's
Now
an
he's
dog, though.
making crazy throws.
Yeah.
Crazy
Obviously,
interceptions.
yeah.
Do you
That's
think
one thing
Brand-
I respect the Patriots for. They don't give a fuck how good you are. You fuck up off the field, you're gone.
you think
Yeah.
Brandon Staley's ever gonna get a job?
No, he'll be a defensive
Well,
coordinator
look-
somewhere.
Well,
He's
Staley
gonna
sucks.
he's gonna take a year. He's gonna take at least like a year or 2 for him to get back into the rounds.
Well, even his defense was horrible.
Yeah.
Like so bad.
He'll get a job somewhere eventually. I feel like he might need just a year off for himself to chill. The best thing in the
Mental
world, too,
health
by
year.
the way, is being a fired NFL head coach because you get paid off like a motherfucker to leave.
I have an honest
There's
question
nothing
though.
better.
What is a more desirable location if you are an upcoming head coach, right? If you're like going to be in that turn,
Mm.
the Chargers
Mhm.
or potentially the Falcons.
Chargers.
Now think about it. Think about it.
I don't.
There are superstars on that Chargers team that are aging.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen's old.
Yep.
Austin Eckler's old.
Yep.
Your offensive line has been banged up.
Yeah.
How old's Mike Williams?
But you have one of the best quarterbacks.
Late
in the
20s,
NFL.
but
Yeah,
also like
Adam,
he's been that.
Adam, but you have Justin Herbert.
I know.
The Falcons have Desmond Ritter.
Well, no, they need a quarterback for sure. But you could finagle something. You have skill positions set up without the quarterback, and then you have the quarterback.
I don't.
let's say
I know
without
you
the skill.
think that. I don't think the Falcons are totally set up skill position wise.
They need one. If you can get a quarterback and another wide receiver,
is solid. But who else is there at receiver?
bro? If the
Name
Falcons
another
could
Falcons
go out
receiver.
and if the Falcons could go out, Van Jefferson, come on, don't sleep.
Oh,
If the Falcons can go out and sign Brandon
Super Bowl
Ayuk,
champ Van
Mike Evans,
Jefferson.
or T. Higgins and
That's a
get a
different
quarterback,
story.
but that's why
Yeah.
I'm saying you're set up to be able to.
I'd still rather take my chances with Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike.
I would
like
too.
Austin Eckler. I'd take my chances because then you can go out if you fix a couple things. You can go out and win a Super Bowl next year with the right coaching.
Well, Eckler's as good as going.
Bro, if they got Justin Fields and added Mike Evans, jeez.
Oh my.
Okay, so let's play the hypothetical game then. Falcons get Justin Fields. That's their quarterback, right? So now you got the Falcons with Justin Fields, and then you got Justin Herbert and the Chargers and their superstars. No matter what, I think Austin Eckler's on the way out because it was a one-year deal. He wanted out. So you have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Quentin Johnson. You have some pieces up front, Rashawn Slater. You have aging people on the defensive side of the ball, whatever. What is a more attractive place to go right now?
I think LA because
As
you
a
have a
coach.
unicorn at quarterback.
Fair.
Yep. LA,
That's why. It's
LA
harder to
also
find.
because you get to live in LA.
Yeah, that too.
As opposed
True.
to Atlanta.
Atlanta's dope, but like LA is
LA.
LA.
I
think
agree.
Atlanta.
I agree.
mean, I
And
think
you got
LA.
that powder blue.
No, it's just clean, but and no fans though.
Yeah, no.
Except for that one
quarterback.
Who needs fans, bro? When you get a good team, man, just with heart.
Yeah, this game, this game showed though how good Justin Herbert is. I mean, you're playing
Fields,
with your backup
Fields.
quarterback.
Fields?
No.
Justin Herbert. Yeah.
Chargers.
Easton,
Chargers.
stick, bro.
I mean, that showed like
Bro.
Justin Herbert's advanced stats have been among the best in the league. Has been better than Tua's, than Brock. Then like when you look at the advanced stats, right? The EPAs, like when you go to the Sumer Sports and of the world and the,
Yes,
whatever,
of course.
which factors in a bunch of stuff that is way beyond.
I don't even know how to quantify it, but yeah.
He's been playing very well all year, and he just hasn't. We always said like, oh, but you got to win these games. But this game, they don't have them, and they lose by 1 million. So it shows how bad they are. I think a head coach can make the a good head coach can make the Chargers one of the best teams in the league.
Oh, we didn't even get to talk about the Steelers.
We have so much to talk about still. There's so much.
So I think you would want to go to LA. I think what this showed is that Staley is just horrible, which we kind of assumed. It showed that they're horrible. And if you're a good coach and you think you're good and you can actually make a difference with the franchise, you would go to LA and actually make them a respectable team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's some. I feel like if you just get them a good ass offensive minded head coach, like they're going to be up there with the Niners and Dolphins' offenses in the NFL.
Could.
That's just how it's going to be.
What about Mike Tomlin?
What about him?
Just if he were to go to the Chargers or even the Falcons, do you think that they would be more successful?
Who's a better head coach to go to the Chargers, Mike Tomlin or Bill Belichick?
Oh my god!
I really don't like
Go to
either of
the
them.
If either of them went to the Chargers, I'd just like
Probably Tomlin.
I don't want either of those guys there.
I don't
I
want
want the
either,
next
either.
McDaniel, the next Shanahan
man.
there.
You want like Joe Brady.
Yeah.
Like you want some guy like that. There's just like a
Dable, like if
wizard.
Dable were to leave like New York, I would want him in LA.
Yeah.
The enemy.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, could be good.
is this the time? But
Yeah.
One of those guys.
You want one of those.
Fuck, maybe
offensive
McVay
gurus.
leaves the Rams for the Chargers. I would love that.
Oh my god, the LA.
Yeah, he's already there.
You don't gotta-
Stay
you don't
in the
gotta
same
move.
house.
He
No,
doesn't have
stay
to
in
change
the
his
same-
office at all.
He's revitalized with that Puka edition. Yeah, I don't. Well, we're talking about Mike Tomlin, so
Let's talk about the Steelers.
should Mike Tomlin be fired? We had Frank Michael Smith on our live yesterday. He popped in, obviously a diehard Steelers fan, friend of the pod, and he came in and joined us and was saying that A, he's lost the locker room. B, he clearly doesn't have a voice that resonates with players. And C, the media for some reason will not attack Mike Tomlin. Like the questions that are asked in the post-game press conferences are softballs, and like people are genuinely afraid of challenging
You're
Mike
never
Tomlin.
going to see someone ask what they asked Brandon Staley last week. It's like,
Which is like, do you deserve to be a head coach? Yeah.
Yeah, or do you deserve to be a head coach?
So I asked you guys. Frank believes that Mike Tomlin and allegedly Steelers fans also believe that he should be fired and that they should move on. Do you guys think Mike Tomlin should be fired?
Grass isn't always greener. I don't know.
I mean,
see
he's such
why.
a proven head coach for so long that like he's never going to get those questions that
but
Staley's
what-
getting because Staley's not proven at all.
But what Frank said about like why people think he's so proven is that like, yeah, he has a Super Bowl ring, which is good and fine and dandy, but he inherited Bill Cowher's team. That was disgusting with Ben Roethlisberger, all those guys. Like,
Yeah, but he doesn't lose. Like we talk
No,
about this all the
but
time.
he
Mike
doesn't,
Tomlin
but he doesn't
always
win. But he doesn't win either.
He's
Like we always say,
well,
he's
he
never
hasn't
had,
had a losing season since 07. I
Here's
think.
the-
yeah,
he didn't win in the
no, you know what I
playoffs.
mean? Though he doesn't like
Here's the one in the playoffs.
doesn't win the playoffs. He's a guy like when we're like, oh, like he's never been below 500 his whole career, which is awesome. That's a huge feat, like very impressive.
Massive.
You have so many years of 9-8, or I guess 9-7, or 8-8 back in the day when it was 16 teams, or like that year where they went 10-0 and then I think they finished 10-6, right? Like, and then get smoked in the first round of the playoffs by the Browns. Like, there's no team since Mike Tomlin has been his own head coach, and this is what Frank was saying, is like it's actually been that impressive.
Well, I also
like,
think us as fans, we would all take going completely winless for a straight decade and then the following year win a Super Bowl than to be 500 or a game or two above 500 for a decade.
oh
For
my
a straight
God.
decade, I don't know. That's tough. I know you've done it
But
as
if
a Dolphins fan.
if you knew that after that decade you got a Super Bowl, like right at a year number 11, or in those first 10 years, you are just right around the middle of the pack. That 9-8 team.
There's
When it was
nothing worse
16,
than
you were
being
8-8.
500 every year.
Like, what would you
Yeah,
take?
that
I think we
sounds-
would all take. Let's be
Exactly.
miserable and just wait, ride it out.
I'd rather,
Put me in a
I'd
cryo
rather,
chamber.
I'll take 3 bad years.
I'd rather be trash for a little bit so you can get good draft picks and stuff like
But
that
that wasn't the option.
instead of being like 500 every year. Because you're never going to contend to win an actual Super Bowl, but you're never bad enough to get a really high quality draft pick.
So you're
it's like,
taking the decade of being miserable.
I'll take not a decade, bro. That's fucked.
But the point is when
It's saying
A decade is way too long.
would you rather be
the
the Steelers right now?
No, I'm saying, would you rather be the Steelers now or the Panthers now?
Well,
Would you rather be?
but I'm also
500
guaranteeing you a
mid,
Super
mid?
Bowl.
The Steelers aren't there yet, though.
But the Steelers have been
It
for the
hasn't been
last
10 years.
the last 6-7
Would
years.
you rather
I'm
be a
hyper
Would you rather be a
5
Bears
years,
fan or a
4 or
Steelers
5
fan right
years.
now?
Yeah, but I'm guaranteeing you a Super Bowl if you're a
What
Bears
was the
fan.
question?
Would you rather be a Bears fan or a Steelers fan?
That's not
right
the
now?
question.
That's a great question.
No, I think the question is, you don't even know if
I
you're
think
going to win.
Steelers.
Let's say
Steelers.
you don't know that you're going to win
Definitely.
a Super Bowl either way, right?
Then I'm still
The Bears
Steelers
are
fan.
It's
bad
all right. But
still.
would you rather be 500 or like you're bad, but you're rebuilding and you're getting people?
I'll still
I'd
take the
rather be-
Steelers.
I'd rather be 500.
But that's why it
I don't
changes,
think I
right?
would.
Because if you're Mike Tomlin, and Frank's point is that they've just been middle of the pack, they're not going to go win a Super Bowl with Mike Tomlin. If you knew that you could win a Super Bowl, that's why I'm throwing that caveat in. If you knew that you can be miserable and then win a Super Bowl, or would you rather just be Mike Tomlin over these last couple of years? Granted, they've had better years and whatnot, but like, what are you choosing?
I mean, if,
I'm going
if
to take
Mike
a Super Bowl.
Tomlin,
I've been miserable.
all I'm saying is that if Mike Tomlin didn't inherit Bill Cowher's superstar studded team, we would be looking at him like Jeff Fisher. Because Jeff Fisher was 8-8, 9-7 every fucking year that he was a coach. Does anyone ever talk about him being one of the greatest coaches ever? No.
Nah, but Tomlin has a Super Bowl. Though.
That's what I'm saying.
think-
If he didn't get inherit Bill Cowher's fucking
Yeah, but he's been
great
to-
team, win a Super Bowl.
But he went to
Come on,
another.
we know-
Super
we
But he also
know
went
that-
to another Super Bowl. He's also had multiple teams that have been the best team in the league.
Yeah.
I don't
Even though they
think-
haven't won, they've been the best team in the league.
I don't think
So
Mike
it's
Tomlin should be
very
fired.
different.
But I want to clarify that. Like, I don't
Fisher
think
never
Mike
had
Tomlin. I don't think they should fire Mike Tomlin. To your point, the grass is definitely not green on the other side. Take it from other teams that have been looking for head coaches. It took the Dolphins forever to find a head coach. Like, shit ain't always sweet. But they do need a quarterback, and it appears by looking at Deontay Johnson's body language, George Pickens, like them not blocking, not bought in, like that goes straight to the coach. So clearly there's something that's going wrong, and that leads to the coach. But you can't fire Mike Tomlin.
Coach Pickens.
I think organizations win Super Bowls, and so I mean the Bears. Like, why I would still choose to be a Steelers fan over a Bears fan is because if I'm the Bears fan, I don't care if I'm gonna have a top pick next year. You're not gonna do anything with it.
Correct.
So
Whereas
not
the
even
Steelers
close.
would. Like, if you have if you're always at the end of the draft, like the Patriots, those 2 decades.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. They're always picking late.
And they
But
still
they
found
find
someone.
They find gems in every
Yeah.
single round.
Yeah.
They know how to develop talent.
And frankly, there are gems every single fucking
Yeah,
draft.
and
There's a pool of 7 rounds. Like,
And so organizations make great players and they develop them and they find ways to get them, like the Eagles find ways to go get great players. And bad teams don't do that. So it doesn't matter how bad. Like, we've seen this, and it's
It's
pretty
all
much
about identifying talent.
I
Yeah.
agree.
bad teams. Like, tanking doesn't win. It's never won in the NFL. It's
No.
never won. There's only been a couple examples.
Doesn't really win ever anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
can you really point to tanking? Look at the Sixers. They were a generational tanking team.
Trust
It
the
was-
process.
It did help
The-
them,
Yeah, but
but they didn't win.
they
a
haven't
big,
won.
The big one.
Like,
yeah.
when has tanking ever gotten you to the top?
No, but Tank Dell.
Now that's a guy.
Now we're
RIP
talking.
to the foot.
All right, we do have to wrap up though. This has been an absolute pleasure. Week 15, almost in the books. Eagles and Seahawks tonight,
Yep,
correct?
yep. Drew Lock, I think, might
Any
be starting,
predictions?
boys.
Any thoughts? Predictions?
Nah, I
And-
got,
Jalen Hurts
and,
will play.
I
got the
Jalen
Eagles
Hurts will
lock.
play.
350 yards passing, 7 touchdowns.
I'm 10-4 right now in predictions.
Yeah.
MIZ.
So if
I'm
the
12
Eagles
and
win,
2.
I'll be
I'm
11-4.
10-4 as well.
I think
12
you're like 9-5 so
Yeah.
far.
Some of my upsets didn't look great. But hey,
You're going to
But
do
hey,
it frosted tips,
DeAndre
though.
Swift gonna do his
You're
thing
gonna
this
look
week.
sexy as fuck if you have blonde hair, though.
Think so?
You do
Yeah,
frosted
probably.
tips, or you want to do just the
No,
All
I'll
of
go blonde with you.
Yeah, you want to do it bad,
I'd
so I'll
wanna
do
do
it. Fuck it.
Adam, you should just tank. Like tank the rest of
Tank
the year. So
Dell.
go blonde.
I've picked the Dolphins 17-0. So
No, just tank the rest of the year. Pick the Panthers every week.
Tank Dell.
yeah, sure. Hey, but Jack, this was the first of your last few episodes. What?
Beginning of the end.
First of the
beginning?
last.
Yeah, the beginning of the end. I was,
Sure,
and
yeah.
I wanted.
First of the last week.
This was a good. I miss you already.
Everybody,
Where are you, Poppy?
send your love to Jack Perotti in the comments. Go follow Jack_Perotti on everywhere.
Yep.
He's a fucking beast. All right. Thanks for listening to the Caps Off podcast. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.